His name is Gout. It's supposed to be G-U-O-T. When I see people call Gout Gout, I'm not really happy for it.
Gout Gout's father finally breaks his silence and the revelation shocks everyone. The name of the young Australian running sensation isn't what we've been saying, but what is his real name? Let's uncover the story behind this surprising truth. The father of a young running star from Australia has something important to tell everyone about his son's name. When I see people called him Gout Gout, I'm not really happy for him. I know that Gout Gout is a disease name, but I don't want my son to be called a disease name. It's something that's not acceptable.
My name is Gout. It's supposed to be G-U-O-T. When I see people call Gout Gout, I'm not really happy for it. I know Gout Gout is a disease name, but I don't want my son to be called disease name. That is something is not acceptable.
His father Bona wants to share how this mix-up happened when their family moved from South Sudan to Australia. The story begins when Bona and his wife Monica had to leave their home in South Sudan because of war. They went to Egypt first, and that's where the name problem started. When people wrote down their names in Arabic and then in English, they made a mistake. They wrote Gout as Gout. At first Bona and Monica were going to move to Canada, but then Australia sent their papers first, so they went to Australia instead, and that's where their son
What became Gout due to an Arabic spelling mix-up by the Sudanese government as Bona and Monica fled to Egypt. It was speed that got them here. Canada was the plan, but Australian government documents arrived first.
Now that their son is becoming famous for his amazing running, the wrong spelling of his name is becoming a bigger problem. Bona is worried because gout is actually the name of a painful health problem that makes people's joints hurt. He told Channel 7, "When I see people called him Gout Gout, I'm not really happy for him. I know that Gout Gout is a disease name, but I don't want my son to be called a disease name. It's something that's not acceptable." This name story is coming out just as young Gout is doing amazing things in running.
Gout, the name of the new Australian 200-metre sprint record holder's grandfather, binds family heritage.
It's culturally very important, and especially if people see people like Gout Gout running and all that, they connect to the name. But when they hear it Gout Gout, then it lost the meaning of it.
It's an amazing name. The family name.
At the Australian All-Schools Athletics Championships, he did something really special. He's only 16 years old, but he broke a really old record in the 200-meter race. The old record was set by Peter Norman way back in 1968 at the Mexico City Olympics. Norman ran it in 26 seconds, and that record stood for 56 years, but Gout ran it in 24 seconds, making him the fastest Australian ever in this race. Peter Norman's record was extra special because it was part of a famous moment in sports history. When Norman got his medal in 1968, he stood on the podium with two American runners, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, who raised their fists in the Black Power salute. This was a very important moment that people still talk about today. Gout isn't just fast in one race, he's super fast in lots of races. In the 100-meter race, he ran it in 10.4 seconds, which is incredibly fast, but this time couldn't be officially counted because there was too much wind helping him. But then he ran it again in 10.17 seconds when the wind was normal, and this became a new record for runners under 18 in Australia. People are starting to compare Gout to Usain Bolt, who is one of the most famous runners ever. That's because Gout is running faster times than Bolt did when Bolt was 16 years old. Even Bolt himself noticed Gout. When someone asked Bolt about Gout on Instagram, Bolt said, "He looks like young me. Big things are happening for Gout because he's so fast." The famous sports company Adidas wants him to wear their clothes and shoes when he runs. He's also been invited to train with Noah Ly, who won gold at the Olympics. At the Under-20 World Championships, Gout ran the 200 meters in 20:60 seconds, breaking another record that used to belong to Bolt. But there's more to this story than just running fast. Gout's family wants people to understand how important his real name is to them. When family members back home watch him run on TV, they feel sad when they hear people call him Gout Gout instead of his real name Gout, even though fans have given him fun nicknames like Goat Goat, which means greatest of all time and Gout of this world. His family wants to keep their real family name alive. Bona, Goat's dad, is trying to be understanding about the whole thing. He said, This shows how Bona understands that people might use different names for his son in public, but at home they'll always use his real name. This story shows us that being a famous athlete isn't just about running fast or winning races, it's also about who you are and where you come from. Gout's family had to leave their home country and start a new life in Australia. Now their son is becoming one of the best runners in the world, but they still want to keep their culture and their real family name. It's a story about running fast, but it's also a story about family identity and being proud of who you are. Gout's story teaches us that sometimes small mistakes like writing a name wrong can become big things later, but it also shows us that you can be successful while still staying true to yourself and your family's history. As Gout keeps running faster and breaking more records, his family hopes that people will learn to say his name the right way and understand the special meaning it has for them. If you like the video, do share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to the channel for more updates.
For me, I don't mind whatever they want to call him, let them call him. But for myself, I know his name is Gout. That is myself. Like mom is calling him Gout. And the same me, I call him Gout.
Gout Gout takes the track world by storm with stunning performance. The young sprinter has an incredible 2024 season, leaving experts amazed by his speed and talent. At just 16 years old, G has already put himself in the conversation as the next big star in sprinting. But what makes his rise so extraordinary and why is everyone talking about it? Let's take a closer look at his remarkable journey. On January 27, 2024, he ran the 200-meter race in 20:69 seconds. That's impressive for someone his age. Most runners don't get that fast until they're much older. This time put him in the same group as some of the best young runners ever. Clip 8. March 16th, something really special happened at the Queensland Athletics Championships in the under-18 division. Gout ran the 100 meters in just 10:29 seconds. When people saw this race, they couldn't believe their eyes. He didn't just win, he left everyone else far behind, especially in the last part of the race.
The heats and he's gone. How do you do, Gout Gout? That is absolutely unbelievable. That is his.
What made this race even more impressive was that Gout's time wasn't just good enough to win his age group, it was actually faster than the older runners too. He would have won the under-20 race and even the grown-ups race with that time. And here's something really interesting, there was no wind helping him run faster that day. The older runners actually had some wind helping them, but Gout still beat their times without any help from the wind. After winning all the big races in Australia, Gout went to the World Junior Championships. This was a really big deal because he would be racing against the best young runners from all over the world. Most of them were older than him, but Gout didn't let that stop him from doing something amazing. In the 200-meter race, he went up against an 18-year-old runner from South Africa named Baya Waza, who was, but wait, there is more. The race against Waza was really exciting to watch. At first it looked like Waza was going to win easily. He was way ahead of Gout in the first half of the race. Most people thought there was no way Gout could catch up, but then something amazing happened. Gout started running so fast in the second half of the race that he almost caught up to Waza. When people looked at the race carefully using slow motion video, they found something really interesting. Gout ran the first 100m in about 10.8 seconds, but then he ran the second 100m in about 9.7 seconds. This is super impressive because most runners get slower in the second half of a 200m race, but Gout actually got faster. Even professional adult runners would be happy to run that fast in the second half of a race. To help you understand how fast this is, let's compare it to the Olympic finals. Gout's second half of the race was only 0.2 seconds slower than AR Knight, one of the best runners in the world. He was even faster than some of the adult Olympic runners. Remember, Gout was only 16 years old when he did this. The only thing he needed to work on was his start. If he could begin the race faster, he might be even more amazing. On November 3rd, Gout showed everyone that he was getting even better at the Queensland All-School Championships in Brisbane, Australia. He ran the 200 meters again. This time he ran it in 20:29 seconds. This was much faster than before, and it put him on a very special list. Only 3 other young runners in history have ever run faster than this: Arian Non, Usain Bolt and Parul Bonson. Just one day before this amazing ING 200m race, Gout did something really impressive in the 100m too. He ran it in 10.31 seconds, which might not sound that different from his earlier time of 10.29, but there's something special about this run. He was running into a strong headwind, which means the wind was pushing against him and making it harder to run fast. If there had been no wind, experts think he might have run it in about 10.24 seconds, and with a helpful tailwind, maybe even 10.15 seconds.
Start from both of those men. Leading into the straight, it is Gout in the centre. Also Thamel of Sri Lanka going well and holding on to that second spot at the moment. 20.77 for Gout. Remember, this young man is
That he's known for being really fast at the end of races, not at the start, but now he's getting better at starting too. In his 100-meter race he actually had a bit of a wobbly start. He stumbled a little in the first few steps, but after that he ran so fast that nobody could catch him for the next 90 meters. He just kept getting further and further ahead of everyone else. Right now Gout is in a really special place in the running world. He's one of the fastest 16-year-olds ever to run track. What makes this extra exciting is that he still has several years left to compete in junior competitions. Most runners don't reach their fastest speeds until they're in their early 20s, so Gout might get even faster as he gets older and stronger. People who watch running are really excited to see what Gout will do next. They're wondering if he might be able to run the 200m in under 20 seconds while he's still a junior runner. That would be incredibly fast. They're also curious about whether he might be able to run the 100 met in close to 10 seconds flat. Some people are even wondering if he might try running the 400-meter race too. The really amazing thing about Gout is that he keeps surprising everyone. Every time people think they know how fast he can run, he runs even faster. His coaches say he works really hard in training, and it shows in his races. Even when he's running against older athletes, he doesn't seem scared or nervous. He just goes out there and runs his fastest, looking ahead to the future. Lots of people think Gout might become one of the biggest stars in running. He's already breaking records for his age group, and he's doing it in a way that reminds people of some of the greatest runners ever. The way he can run so fast at the end of races is something special that not many runners can do. What's also interesting is that Gout still has lots of room to improve. His coaches say he's still learning the best way to start races, and he's still growing and getting stronger. If he can make his starts as good as his finishes, he might run even faster times than nobody expects. The running world is watching Gout very closely now. Every time he races, people wonder if they're going to see something amazing happen. He's scheduled to race again soon in Australia, and everyone's excited to see what he might do next. Some people think he might be the next great sprinting star, following in the footsteps of legends like Usain Bolt. At just 16 years old, Gout is already achieving his goals that most runners can only dream of, and the best part is this could just be the start of his incredible journey in track and field. Who's your favorite athlete? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.
Another really good start there, and they're away in this men's under 18 200 metre final. So we're about to wind him up and watch him go here. Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world. 20.07.
Wow.
That is not.
16-year-old Gout has broken a 56-year-old Australian 200-meter record, earning global acclaim. Now invited to train with Olympic champion Noah Ly. His rise signals a transformative moment in athletics. Performances at the Australian All-Schools Athletics Championships have been nothing short of spectacular. In a remarkable display of raw talent and speed, the young sprinter locked an astounding time of 20.4 seconds in the 200 met event. This performance isn't merely fast, it's a historic achievement. To put this into perspective, Gout's time shattered a 56-year-old Australian record set by Peter Norman at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Norman's time of 20.6 seconds had stood the test of time for over half a century, making Gout's achievement all the more remarkable. But that's not all. This time is also faster than what Usain Bolt, widely regarded as the greatest sprinter of all time, ran at the same age.
So the under-18 men's 200 is away. The much-anticipated Gout fight here. And on his inside, Andrew Mayenda is going to be the challenger. So Mayenda, the South Australian, he's fast. He's putting the challenge down to Gout. And Josiah John out wide from WA. Josiah John. Gout, though, now shows his class. Gout from Queensland. 20.87. That is a national record.
Could he be faster than Usain Bolt? Gout, a teenager from Ipswich, is making headlines around the world.